Welcome to Filthy's Game Room with the one and only Filthy Mouth Gamer.
Oh shit, you motherfuckers.
What up, what up?
It's time for another game room, motherfucker. It's been a while. I've been fucking slacking. What do you want me to tell you? I just came out from fucking taking a bloody shit. Time for the fucking game room. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most popular genres in video game history. Fighting games. I think we've all fucking had some heated arguments with our friends from playing fucking fighting games. As a matter of fact, Ken and I almost got into a fucking fist fight in Vegas for a fucking fighting game.
That was Street Fighter, wasn't it? Or something?
Yeah, that's a true fucking story. I'm not even fucking around.
Street Fighter.
But there's a rich fucking history of fighting games that a lot of you guys might not know. Everybody points to Street Fighter 2, as the granddaddy, but it's really not the fucking granddaddy. Fighting games, for me, started way back when, in the very early 80s. I never actually got to play this game until later on, but it was a game called Karateka, and this is the fucking music for the game, if you want to hear how primitive this shit is. Does that tell you the whole fucking story?
Jesus, fucking barbaric.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
Fucking barbaric, dude.
But you know what? At the time was fucking amazing because games didn't even have music really back then. You know what I mean?
Well, when games got color and they started getting like some color to them, I remember flipping out and going, "Holy shit!"
Well, on the screen you're seeing, I believe this is the Commodore 64 version. I personally didn't have a Commodore 64. I had friends that had it. The first time I ever saw this game was in a commercial for the Atari 7800. I was like, what the fuck is that? Because it looks so much different than other games. I actually got to play it. There was a cartridge on Nintendo. It was like a bootleg cartridge, and it had 190 games on it. Yes, they were doing that shit even back then. 190 games. This was one of the games. I got to play it, and I figured out this was the precursor to modern fighting games. It wasn't like a traditional fighting game where it's me versus you or something like that, and you go on to the next stage. It was side-scrolling. You played this fucking karate master that you'd fucking... That didn't really have... The story was, obviously, there's a princess, damsel in distress, this fucking guy you see on the left side in his orange, whatever the fuck you want to call that, get up. He's the evil... I guess Shogun. I don't even know what the fuck you call it.
My name is Shogun. Remember that? Show enough.
Dude, he's got a fucking...
Remember that? Remember that
Oh,
game?
you're talking about the fucking Last Dragon.
Show enough.
Who is the master?
I'm the master. My name's Show enough, motherfucker.
That kind of looks like him.
Show enough,
He
nickel.
was wearing the same shit.
Yeah. I'm fucking show enough.
That totally looks like that fucking guy. But,
Great movie. Great
if
movie
Shonuff
back in
had
the
a
80s.
fucking bald eagle on his shoulder.
Some of these guys are like, what the fuck are they talking about? It's a great movie back in the 80s about this
The
guy.
Last Dragon? Bruce
Yeah.
Leroy? Come on,
Last
man.
Dragon.
You gotta watch The Last Dragon. Go back and watch The Last Dragon.
Yeah, if you never heard of it, go check it out, definitely.
I know we got a lot of youngins listen to this show.
Yeah, we highly recommend it to you young guys. If you never heard of it, go fucking check that out. It's called...
It's cheesy. Listen, it's cheesy as fuck.
It is, but it's a great movie. And what's the name of it again? It's
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon, yep.
It's basically like the black Bruce Lee, if you couldn't tell by the hero's name, Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, Bruce Leroy.
But no, this game was side-scrolling, and then you would, every once in a while, there would be a fucking guy that you run up on, and you'd get into a fight. And it would be kind of like a fighting game, but it would just be kicks and punches. And you'd knock that guy down, and you start running, and then this fucking orange douchebag with his fucking... I don't even know what the fuck, condor on his fucking shoulder. He would point out. He would point out and send another guy at you, and then you just keep fighting guys, and then there'd be like traps and shit that you'd have to dodge. Birds would be flying at you and shit. Very primitive game, but for its time, I mean, I didn't play when it was new, but I'm sure that it was fucking groundbreaking. But this was like the precursor to what fighting games would become. Karateka, check it out. Go on YouTube, look it up. It's fucking primitive, but it was a great game at the time. So after Karateka, in the arcades, there was a game that showed up in arcades, and for some reason, this game also was in like bars. They had it in bars all the time. Here it is. Dude.
God.
As you can tell, the music improved just a tad bit, but listen to the sound effects of this fucking game. You ready?
that was a huge improvement at that point, you know?
Oh yeah, there was like voices and shit.
Yeah, huge improvement. You got some speech going in there now and fucking crazy, man.
Karate Champ, which was, I mean, it's technically the first fighting game. You know, 2 players versus each other or versus the computer. Yeah. And as you can see in the picture, they had 2 joysticks. One moved the guy forward or backwards, and the other one was to throw kicks and punches and whatever. Yeah. And I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me. Nobody knew how to do anything in this fucking game. They just fucking hit buttons and fucking, you know what I mean? Like, even...
Yeah, there's no flow to it, like, you know, that you could learn.
If you pushed... It said in the game, if you push this, it does this. No, it's bullshit. You can push forward and right on the stick, and sometimes it'll throw a fucking front kick, and sometimes it'll throw a high kick, sometimes it'll do a jump kick. It's fucking bizarre. It's just a bizarre game. Sometimes you'll fucking throw a kick, and it'll go through the dude's body, and it won't even hit him. It was such a ridiculous game. And on top of that, even if you hit this guy, it was a point system like in karate or taekwondo. So you'd fucking, let's say, sometimes you walk up and you kick the guy right in his, it looked like you kicked him right in his fucking nuts, right? And the guy, you'd hear it, like you just heard him say, half point. You know what I mean?
Play that again.
Yeah, listen to this fucking jerk. I mean, it's like ridiculous. I believe you had to get 2 full points to win.
Yeah.
So, but the same kick that just gave you half a point, you can do the next time around, and all of a sudden you'll hear him go, full point. It's like, well, why the fuck did I get a full point this time, but a half point the last fucking time?
Bull.
You know, like I never got it. Do you remember the bonus stage? Like, all of a sudden you have like a fucking charging bull coming at you.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then you'd have to time the kick right and kick it right in his fucking head.
Yeah.
Sometime there would be another bonus stage where they would, like, all of a sudden you'd be standing there and then a fucking flower pot come flying at you and shit.
What the fuck? Like, guys throwing everything but fucking, Vikings bedroom sink.
Everything but the bedroom sink.
Everything but the fucking bedroom sink over here.
But, I mean, this game at the time was fun. But looking back, it's not that great of a game. Very, very repetitive. I mean, I guess it got harder as you went on, but very repetitive. Popular in its time. Like I said, if you went into a bar back in the day, and the reason I was in a bar when I was a young kid, because my father worked in a lot of bars. So I'd come in there with him one time, and Karate Champ was always there. I don't know what the fuck it was about that game, but it was there. I guess people got drunk, and they wanted to just kick each other in the fucking balls. I don't know.
I know, right?
So, all right, so let's play the fucking music. This to me, in my opinion, was Karate Champ is technically the first fighting game. This next game is the first fighting game. I'm going to play the music for you right now. Dude.
And now this is what game now? This is...
I don't even know how to pronounce it. I guess it's Yar Kung Fu or Yar Kung Fu, Yar. I don't know what the fuck. I just know it's Kung Fu.
Yeah.
All right? And it was a single-player game. You can see just one joystick. But it was like Street Fighter in that you fought different enemies. The first guy is like a fat guy that kind of flies at you head first, kind of like fucking E Honda. Then you'll fight a dude with nunchucks. Then you'll fight a dude with ninja stars. You'll fight a dude with fucking swords and all kinds of shit staff. But it was that first step towards that type of shit. And I'll never forget seeing this in the arcade. Like, whoa, this is a fucking cool game. And it wasn't that hard of a game. It was pretty easy to play, but it definitely stood out from all the other games. It was way better than fucking Karate Champ. Karate Champ sucked, in my opinion. Yaya Kung Fu, Yi Kung. I don't give a fuck what it says. You got to be a fucking Asian to know what the fuck it says. You know what I mean? Like, what does it say? Great fucking game. I highly recommend you fucking try it out. I mean, it's probably to you guys out there that grew up with fucking Xbox 360. You're probably like, this game sucks.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know what, dude? I grew up with stick figures. All right.
Exactly. Me too. You know, this is all fucking butter for us now at this point, because it's like, you know, we're used to. I mean, we got used to it at one point. Let me put it to you this way: when Nintendo came out with all those games and all that stuff going on, it was like we were blown the fuck away by it.
Yeah. Because
it was like so cutting edge, so fucking state of the art to us. This is Nintendo, okay?
Right.
So it was like really the cutting edge gaming and, you know, Excite Bike and all those fucking things, and it was just something that, you know, you didn't see all the time. And when you did, and when you finally got a system that was capable of something like that, it was a dream. You know what I mean? Come true, basically. It was like, wow, look what we got available to us now, man. You know, like, look what we got available to us.
Yeah, it was definitely, I remember being, let's see, so that came out in 1985, so I was like 8. I didn't get my hands on it till like 9 years old. And yeah, that changed the fucking game, man. I had the Sega Master System before I had Nintendo. Yeah. I was always a weird, quirky fucking video game person. I always had the weird ones that most people didn't have, like the Sega Master System. And then when you went to 16-bit, the first one I had was the TurboGrafx 16. Like, it was I always had the weird shit. No, definitely. It was as a kid growing up, man, that grew up in arcades, that was a fucking dream come true, the fucking Nintendo.
Yeah, it was,
the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Fucking crazy shit. You know, it was like
yeah, that was a fucking
frontier.
Crazy.
It was like a new frontier, man. It really was. Like, and all their games Nintendo came out with then, you have to remember, were like just great. They had great fucking games, man.
Well, they were great, but they were also groundbreaking as far as concept. Nobody did.
It was like Olympics. You had the Olympics. You had stuff.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the Legend of Zelda. Nothing was like that.
Yeah, no, nothing. You had Mario Brothers, which was like
right, nothing was like that.
Nothing was like that either.
You had fucking Metroid, which was game.
This is when they first took the next step. I would say the gaming companies, and you know what I mean. Like, this is when they first took the next step, and like, because you know, you would go from the games we're discussing today, which were very primitive. But then, you know, it was like when Nintendo came out, it was like it took the next step, like up in the whole thing. And you seem to remember when the gaming industry takes its next step forward, like when, you know, everything started to become what it was today, when those systems first started coming out, like Xbox One and all that. That was like changed the game. You know what I mean? It made a lot of things better. You know, so you remember those moments. And when Nintendo came out, that was one of the moments for us where things went to the next level, you know?
Listen, the creator of Mario and Zelda and Metroid, Shigeru Miyamoto, he's the one who he was supposed to make, I believe it was a shooting gallery game. That's what Nintendo wanted him to make. And then he said, fuck that. And he just decided to make this other fucking game based on his landlord, his Italian landlord. And he based it, and it was called Donkey Kong. And then that changed the fucking world.
Yep.
Then he fucking makes Super Mario Brothers. He makes fucking Legend of Zelda. Let me tell you something. Shigeru Miyamoto should be able to fuck a geisha's face every time he wakes up in the morning, because that's what he did for video games. He in my opinion, he single-handedly created this fucking universe. Like, without fucking Shigeru Miyamoto, nobody would have gave a fuck about Nintendo. Nobody would have gave a fuck about Sega. Nobody would have gave a fuck about Xbox or PlayStation or any of this shit, dude.
Yeah.
He is, and still to this day, dude, think about it. Nintendo wouldn't be selling consoles without Zelda and Mario and Metroid. Without those games, nobody would give a fuck about Nintendo. It's the only reason people buy Nintendos anymore is because they're first-party games, and they're mostly Shigeru Miyamoto titles. So that guy deserves to get his dick sucked at a fucking in an opium den every fucking day for the rest of his life. Christ. I don't give a fuck. He gets the fucking. I don't give. He gets away with rape in
He
Japanese.
takes the fuck.
You know what I mean? He gets to fucking buy fucking used panties and wear them on his fucking head. I don't give a fuck what he does. The guy's the fucking grandfather of all video games. I might even suck his dick. I wonder if it tastes like fucking pork fried rice.
Come on now, man.
If
Okay, let's get back to the games now. Okay.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. If his dick tasted like sesame chicken, right?
Gross. Fucking gross.
If his dick tastes like sesame chicken, you know, just blindfold me. I maybe get a couple sucks. As long as it tastes like sesame chicken, who gives a fuck?
Gross, dude.
I gotta give the master his due. You know?
Yeah,
give him a couple.
Literally. Fucking literally. Give him his due.
All right, let's not drag this shit on too long.
Yeah.
So, all right, so now this next game, the first time I saw it, don't put it up yet because I want to explain what happened. So I'm in this amusement park on Long Island called Adventureland, and I see this fucking game, fighting game, that it didn't have buttons. It had these giant pads, these rubber pads. It looked like two big red and blue buttons, and people were punching these fucking pads as hard as they could, and it would make the characters on the screen like punch harder or punch soft. And I was like, what the fuck? And listen to these effects.
USA.
Street Fighter 1, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was sick, man.
Granddaddy of Street Fighter. You see those fucking buttons right there?
Yeah.
Those are punch pads.
Yeah.
Before they had 6 buttons, the left punch pad was for punch and the right one was for kick. The harder you hit it, so if you hit it as hard as you could, it would be the uppercut punch. Medium, obviously, would be the medium punch, and then you tap it would be the jab.
Hadouken! Hadouken!
Great idea. You heard that, right? You heard how fucking weird that sounded? Because nobody sees the fucking thing about this game is, I'd watch people play this game, and they brought this game to, you remember Lowe's and near us, right? All right, you remember the old version of it, though?
Yeah.
How it had that weird fucking setup? All right, so you'd walk into this Lowe's, and to the right, they'd have video games, and this is one of the video games. They got rid of the punch pads because they would just break. You know, people are punching as hard as they can. They don't really get it. It wasn't around, so they said, all right, we're just going to add fucking 6 buttons. So people would be playing it. Every once in a while, the guy would throw a fucking fireball out of his fucking hands, and when it hit somebody in Street Fighter 1, it would take like half the health off because nobody knew how to do it. Nobody knew about half circles and fucking, you know what I mean? Because nobody knew fighting games.
Yeah.
So that was like a secret. So now if you go to play Street Fighter 1 and you know how to do Hadokens and you know how to do Shoryukens, you can fuck people up now. But back then, nobody knew dick. And in this game, in Street Fighter 1, the final boss was Sagat. And that's how it goes. That's how Ryu...
I remember
Ryu,
Sagat,
I call him
bro.
Ryu. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Ryu
had a fucking... had red hair in this fucking game. That's the weird thing. That's how he gives Sagat that scar on his fucking chest.
Sagat.
Faggot. Right. Well, that's what he is. He's a fucking faggot.
Faggot.
He's a fucking Thai faggot. He's a fucking lady boy. I think he was the final boss. The guy before him was Adon, I think his name was. He shows up in fucking Street Fighter Alpha 1, I believe. And Birdie, which is in the latest Street Fighter 5, he was in this fucking game too. It was a fucking, it was a great game. It was a fun game, but it didn't catch on. Nobody really gave a fuck about it. For the first couple weeks, people played the shit out of it, and then nobody knew what the fuck they were doing. They were just pressing buttons. And then it just went away for a couple years until it popped up again, and then you heard shit like this. changed everything. Street Fighter 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I will never, ever forget seeing that game for the first time. It was in a arcade in the Sunrise Mall in Massapequa called Galaxy. And nobody really gave a shit about it when I first found it, because I was there pretty much.
This is when it started to make a change from the arcade games that we played when we were little kids, right, to what it became when we were teenagers, where right, it started to get competitive, where the 2-quarter plays were like where it was at. It was no longer jump on a system, dump about $1 into it, play as long as you could on your own. You know what I mean? Like Pac-Man or Donkey Kong or Space Invaders, or now it was jump on and get ready to fucking fight someone standing right next to you, working the joysticks right next to you. And that goes back to what Filthy mentioned at the beginning of the show. Me and him almost got into a fist fight. Matter of fact, it was over this game right here.
No, but I don't know if it was.
It was Street Fighter.
No, it was Street Fighter, but it wasn't Street Fighter 2. It was
whatever, I'm not getting technical, but me and him got into a fight over Street Fighter, and it was almost the same fucking thing, you know what I mean? But wait, hold on one second. This is when it started to get competitive. This is when you were going up against a person, not the computer. This is when the competitive gaming era really started right here, when these type of games came out, which was led by Street Fighter, and then you had Mortal Kombat that came out, which was like mind-blowing to us at that point, because it looked so fucking real, because back then they were recording the real deal and putting it in the games, which is the first time that's ever happened, where it was an actual person that was recorded somewhere in a studio and put into the gaming system. Right, Mike?
Oh, you talk about the digitized well, the first time...
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat.
No, not Mortal Kombat. It was a game called, the one I remember, and I could be even wrong. There was a game called Pit Fighter.
No, I know Pit Fighter, but I'm talking about the
in a fighting game, you mean?
Competitive fighting game that you're playing somebody, you dump in a corner.
Was the first digitized one.
Yeah, like it was the first, like, where you saw animated people that were really recorded in the studio. It wasn't just a digital fighter like it was in Street Fighter.
No, it wasn't drawn.
No, it wasn't. And that's when, but the beginning of it was Street Fighter. Like, that was the beginning of the competitive gaming era that you see today. Honest to God, it really was, because that was the first time you weren't, like I said before, you weren't dumping quarters into a machine and playing by yourself trying to beat the score. This is, you're trying to beat another competitor now. You know what I mean?
What's funny is that they thought that was the way to go, is take the pictures of people and throw them in the game, and then they started figuring out, all right,
we have better ways. It's not
necessarily the pictures of the people that's cool, it's the motion of the people that's cool. So let's now just take the motion of a human being, but then draw over it.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's what but Street Fighter 2, like I said, Galaxy Arcade, nobody really cared about it yet. The first couple weeks, it wasn't on anybody's radar. I would go there pretty much every week because my mom worked in the fucking mall, and she'd give me like $5. I'd go there, and I started playing this fucking game. And I remember that in the beginning, I didn't even have a character. I was just playing. I was just testing everybody the fuck out. I'm playing this guy. I'm playing that guy.
Yeah.
The first time I beat this game, I beat Bison, was with a character that you would never even think of, like even trying to fight Bison with. I beat him with fucking Zangief, the fucking Russian, the first time, and just from pushing buttons. It wasn't like from talent. It was just from fucking luck.
That's how it was, man.
The first character that I got serious trying to learn how to use was Guile. I liked Guile.
Yeah, and Guile, man, yeah.
He ended up being in the original Street Fighter 2, not Champion Edition, not Turbo, this one, Street Fighter 2. He was, if you knew how to do it, he was the cheapest fucking character in the game, and I'll tell you why. So everybody pretty much in the beginning was throwing fireballs, they're throwing uppercuts. With Guile, they're throwing the fucking Sonic Boom. They're fucking
Sonic Boom,
doing that fucking upside down backflip kick.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing with Guile was, what people started doing is they started using the jabs. So if you jabbed the motherfucker 4 times, they would get dizzy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how they get all fucking dizzy? So with Guile, what you'd be able to do is, you'd be able to jab the motherfucker 4 times, get him dizzy, and then as he's dizzy, jump up, jab, and jab him 4 more times to get him dizzy again, and again, and again.
Yeah.
and it was just cheap. Like if you got him dizzy right off the bat in the first part of the game, you're done because you're just gonna keep getting him dizzy and just kill him. So that's why they had to kind of like get rid of that and make Champion Edition and all that other shit. But I started with Guile, then I went to Blanca, which is that fucking green fucking mutant, and then I started using Ryu, and the rest was history. That was my playstyle, was Ryu. But I
used Ken. I used to use Ken all the time.
I brought some stage music from Street Fighter 2. I want to see if you can tell me what stages these are, what characters' stages these are. You ready?
Yeah.
I got 3 of them.
Okay, let's hear it.
Too bad Chris isn't here to fucking rip into you if you don't get it right.
Fuck him.
Ready? This is the first stage. You know what it is?
Oh, man, is that the bonus stage?
Nope.
No, I don't know.
No, these are all stage real. He just said his name was Ken.
Oh, okay.
No, all these are regular stages from regular characters.
All right.
That was the Ken stage. That was probably the coolest music, in my opinion, in the whole game.
That was the coolest music in any video game at that point, bro. You know?
No, I'm just saying in Street Fighter 2 of all the stages.
Yeah.
That was the music I liked the best in the game.
Yeah.
This next one, see if you can get this one. See if you can. Now, just try to bring yourself back because you've played this game a million fucking times.
Oh yeah.
See if you go.
It's been a long time.
I'll give you a hint if you don't know it. That stage.
Wait. Isn't it the guy with his hands that comes out really far? Like
No, that's Dalsy. This stage is in the USA.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what's his name with the uppercut kick.
No, that's not Guile.
No, it's not Guile.
It's the Mike Tyson clone.
Oh
yeah. Oh my God! If Chris was here,
Oh God!
Can you imagine
Fuck
if he was
that
here?
twat.
Right?
Fuck that twat. I can't wait to talk about the next game because that's when. I mean, I love Street Fighter, but the next game when it came out, man.
But hold on, don't say it yet.
Wow.
Because the music I just played was the character Balrog, who was based on Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But when they fucking brought the game from Japan to United States, they fucked up the names. So in Japan, Balrog, who was the Mike Tyson clone,
I am Balrog,
was really M. Bison. Because that's how they changed it. It was supposed to be M. Bison or Mike Tyson. And Balrog was Bison. But when they brought it to the U.S., they changed the 2 fucking names. Some people say it was a mistake. I think it was more trying to fucking just hide the fact that they just totally robbed the whole fucking Mike Tyson character. Because Balrog, the character in the game, didn't look like Mike Tyson. But when you got to the screen, like when it was the versus screen, it was totally fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
It's 100,000 fucking %.
Oh yeah, I remember thinking that when we playing the game back then. You know, like, come on.
And that's how popular Mike Tyson was.
We all know who that is. Yeah.
All right, so one more. I'll give you this one you should get. Just think about what country this sounds like it's from. I'll give you a hint. It has a cage in the background.
Yeah, isn't that the green guy?
Nope, that's Blanca. No,
Blanca.
This is Vega, the guy with the claw.
Vega.
The only guy in Street Fighter 2 with a weapon.
Vega.
Which I thought that used to be able to climb on that fucking cage in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I always found it funny that stage because the guy's in a fucking fist fight at a fucking at a restaurant in Spain. Like it looked like they were in a restaurant or a pub. There's like a cage fight going on.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's take the kids
Yeah,
down
I
to the
know, I
fucking
know.
local pub.
I
We're
always
gonna
remember
see a cage
seeing
fight.
that. Yeah. Go see two fighters destroy their lives. Come on.
Meanwhile, you got fucking you got broads in fucking skirts like dancing around like the can and shit.
Yeah.
It's like
Can sell.
Sometimes like that was what I used to do. If I wasn't playing the game and I was watching other people playing, I wouldn't even pay attention.
Yeah,
to
you'd
fighting.
study the background because you wouldn't get
Right.
to look at it while you were fighting. So
Right.
you use that opportunity to study that fucking background. I know. I used to do the same shit.
It was fucking hilarious shit. All right, so Street Fighter 2, that game, it took over the world.
It did.
After the first month, then there was lines to play the game.
Yeah.
There was betting. People were betting on the game.
Yeah.
Lines of quarters on the machine to fucking
And now,
play.
let me mind you this: we didn't think that another system or game or anything, another game would come up to take this game out because we thought we'd be playing this game for forever. That's how it felt because it was nonstop. It was nonstop. Dude, Part 2 was the best. Dude, Part 2 was the best because when they came out with Street Fighter Part 2, it was like they made these, they had new characters and like these new and improved things on certain things and certain boards, and it was just the new shit. And I remember
not only that, you could use more than 2 characters.
Yeah. And the cool thing was like it took a good experience, Street Fighter 1, that made everything competitive and made it even better now. And it made it to the point where you would pick your character, learn that son of a bitch. A lot of dudes I knew back then would learn almost all the characters. But you had your 1 or 2 characters that were your favorites, they were your go-to characters when you would really face off against somebody you knew was really good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we thought it could never get better than this. And then came along...
Wait, hold on. Don't play it yet. I'm gonna play the music for it. You ready?
Yeah, then came along this juggernaut.
Sub-Zero wins fatality.
Mortal Kombat.
Yo.
Babality.
So
Immortality. Fatality. Finish him. Get over here.
Like, now this right here
the first time
was the
same,
shit.
Same mall, Sunrise Mall, different arcade. There's 2 arcades in the Sunrise Mall. The one went upstairs, the Galaxy. The one downstairs was Time Out. They had just wheeled this fucking game into the fucking arcade. Right
I'll
off the
never
fucking
forget it.
truck.
I will never forget it, man.
They put it against the wall, plugged it in. Now, usually they'd have a guy, like there was a tester to test the game if it was working. So they plugged this fucking game in. There's a tester there. He fucking puts a credit in, and he picks fucking Scorpion. I don't know what the fuck's going on with this game.
Oh,
It looks
Scorpion
cool.
was awesome, bro.
It was fucking digitized. The graphics
Liu
were crazy.
Kang. Liu Kang was one of my favorite. I used to fucking love Liu Kang. Man, and then I went and started playing with Sub-Zero because
That's my favorite.
Sub-Zero was just a cool motherfucker, man. I used to love the whole fact that you could freeze somebody, you know what I
Right.
mean, and go over and fucking do whatever you want to them.
Right.
But come on, man, the characters in this game took it to the next level, man. It really did. It truly did. Like, these characters were so unique in what they could do.
this game is-
Raiden was another juggernaut of a.
Yeah.
I mean, those.
He brought teleporting to the game.
Yeah, those core, and I remember learning how to do that and kicking ass, coming up on the floor behind the person, kicking them and
Right.
uppercutting them, and it was like really just, it was unbelievable. This game.
Well, I remember you played this game mostly in the billiard hall.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I had seen it first in Sunrise Mall, and then that's when I moved over to where you were, and then it was in the billiard hall.
Yeah.
And I used to fuck up Fuji all the time because he'd bring fucking Liu Kang into the fucking mix. He would.
He used to love using Liu Kang. This guy we used to play with all the time. Like, Liu Kang was his go-to guy, and he would sit there as he was playing you. He'd make the noises like Liu Kang would be. So he'd be like, when the guy would like bicycle, he'd bicycle kick you, and he'd go, and he would be like, just got your ass fucked up, and I'd be like, dude, like, I used to want to punch him, but he was the kind of guy that really wasn't that great at it. He'd be popping off buttons left and right. And there was people that played like that, where they would just pop off buttons left and right. They really wouldn't know what the fuck they were doing. And those people would get lucky on you every once in a while, you know? He was one of them. But he used to use Liu Kang exclusively. The guy would not use anybody else. Raiden and Liu Kang. That was it for him.
Right.
You know? But I loved Raiden too, like I said. And Raiden remind me of the movie we mentioned before. Not the movie we mentioned before, but a movie just like that movie. And you probably heard of it. It's a little flick called Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, they were making that movie.
Raiden, well, who figures? Raiden was actually in that movie. That's where the Raiden character was really born, was in that movie. If you ever want to see a good movie, go check out Big Trouble in Little China, and you'll see the Raiden character in that original movie. That's where they really got the character for this game. But
not only that, look at the guy on the side of the machine, Johnny Cage. That's supposed to be fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yep, supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. Exactly. Like this game was fucking great. I mean, I cannot tell you guys, like Mike just said, they rolled this baby off the truck, they stuck it in, they plugged it in, and it was like a whole new world. Like I said before, you didn't think that you could top Street Fighter. Now the question came out, like, are you a Street Fighter person or are you a Mortal Kombat person at this point? Because people went from playing Street Fighter every single day to now playing Mortal Kombat. And like, you would tell somebody, oh, you want to go and play Street Fighter? And they'd be like, no, I'm going to play Mortal Kombat tonight at the bowling alley. And you'd be like, what? I didn't jump on the Mortal Kombat van right away because I was like still loving my Street Fighter. But before I knew it, before I knew it, then everybody abandoning the shit out of fucking Street Fighter. You just had a couple of core people that were considered fans of that game, diehard fans that stuck with it, and a small majority of the people, I would say, like out of 100% of kids that were at these pool halls and pizza places and wherever these video games were that you would play, I'd say like a good 80% of those people there were playing Mortal Kombat. 20% was still playing Street Fighter at that point, because Mortal Kombat made a fucking mark, man. As soon as it came out, everybody knew it was a different, unique type of game, And
it's single-handedly, it was just responsible for video games having ratings on them now. Because it was pretty fucking violent. Not that it matters. Like, who cares?
I remember watching it and saying, "Oh man, you could do like a kill special. Like, that's fucking awesome."
I was like 13 or 14 when Mortal Kombat came out.
Yeah.
Not for a second when I played the game did I think, hey man, it would be really fun to go out and rip somebody's fucking spine through their fucking through their throat.
Or freeze them, or throw a pit stake through their fucking heart and drag them over to me.
It was a game. You know what I mean? Like they made it like it's gonna make you want to go out and kill. No, you want to go out and kill somebody because you're a sociopath. It has nothing to do with.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I could see why they didn't want young kids playing this, because it was graphic for that era. And I can understand why they would want to throw a warning on it, at least. You know what I mean? But at that time, they started blaming games like this that were causing kids to go kill or do drugs, or they were blaming games like this, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. They were saying, oh, it's all about violence. It's about fighting each other. And now with this new Mortal Kombat game, it's about, beating your enemy and then killing him. You know what I mean? At least in Street Fighter, when you beat your enemy, he was dizzy. He was standing there like a jerk off.
He was knocked out. It was a KO.
He was knocked out. You won. Mortal Kombat comes around, and it's like, finish him. It's like, killality or whatever the fuck they were calling it.
Oh, well, no, that came later on.
Yeah, babalities and aminalities, and you know what I mean? Like, this was the first of its kind. At the end of the game, it was kill your opponent. So Mortal Kombat kind of got the fucking, that stiff rating.
What do you think the best fatality was? The first one.
Oh man, I mean, there's so many cool ones that I really couldn't narrow it down. But I'd have to say,
go ahead.
What? No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I have to give the nod really to. Actually, you're right. It is tough because the bloodiest one, the one that involved the most blood on the screen, was Raiden's, when he makes your fucking head explode.
Yeah.
That was the bloodiest motherfucker.
What about where the hat would ride your head and go like a saw?
No, not that. That was the second one. That was with Kung Lao. I'm talking about Raiden would just fucking zap your fucking face with his electricity, and your head would just explode.
Yeah.
And then the blood would just be everywhere.
And then you also had fucking, what's his name with where he would smash your head. Remember? Come up to you and go, smash your head.
No, that was the second one too. You're talking about Jax.
Was it?
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. All right, so the characters in Mortal Kombat were Sub-Zero.
Didn't Sub-Zero like throw you overboard?
No, Sub-Zero fucking ripped your head off and you had your spine hanging from it.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was probably my favorite.
Two.
That was my favorite.
Yeah, it's between those two. It's between Sub-Zeros and Raidens.
Yeah,
you know,
Kano
ripped your heart out and held it open.
Yeah.
You know, held it up.
I got news for you. At this point, when I'm playing video games, I went from the arcade, systems like that, like we're looking at right now, and then I started playing my home entertainment center like even more at that point because remember Nintendo came out before this game, right?
Right.
And we played Nintendo for years at home in your own house and blah blah blah. But there was still the outside, games like this out there that existed, and you would play those too. And there was a big difference between your home console and these arcade games because the arcade games were like much more sharper and it was toned to one game and it was like one thing and one thing specific. And then at that point, right after this Mortal Kombat, like there was only a couple of years left in these, you know what I mean? If you think about it at that point.
Well, arcade games caught up. I mean, consoles caught up with arcade games, probably starting with the first PlayStation.
Yeah, and then it was over. And then it was over.
Mortal Kombat 3, when PlayStation 1 first came out, they had a perfect version of Mortal Kombat 3 on it, arcade version. I was
it's
like,
sad.
whoa.
It's sad to think that this was an industry
Yeah.
that was out there that you could build stores on, and you could build a maintenance career around it, fixing these systems or making them. Or
well, they kind of still do, but it's like
they do, but it's like made to order. It's like not, it's not like it used to be where it was like the whole.
It's all racing and shooting now.
Yeah,
I don't give a
there's
fuck
no
about
fighting
that.
games like
That used to be the best, the competition.
Yeah,
Love that shit.
those days are over, man. It's sad.
And let's not forget, before Mortal Kombat, all right, so you had Street Fighter 2, and then there was a bunch of Street Fighter 2 clones. So Neo Geo had like World Heroes, they had fucking King of Fighters, basically all clones of Street Fighter. And in all those games, to block, you'd have to hold back on the controller. Mortal Kombat was the first fucking game that block was a button in the center. It would be 4 buttons, and then in the center button, the 5th button would be block. That was the first time they did that.
Yeah.
So it took a while to get used to have that button, but in a way it was a little bit better because in Street Fighter, if you wanted to play defensively, you always have to be moving backwards. In Mortal Kombat, you can kind of move forward and still block. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just hit the fucking button. So that was Mortal Kombat, man. That was a fucking really. Dude, this whole time in games, man, was a fucking revolutionary. That whole fucking the bloody. Do you remember fucking Smash TV? How bloody that was?
Yeah.
Dude, all that shit. Right? Dude, play. If you guys, you listen. Outside of fighting games, if you've never played the game Smash TV, go play it. It's one of the funnest games you'll ever play in your life.
Yeah, it is, man.
Seriously, and play with a friend because you'll fucking talk shit. I got more fucking toasters than you. You'll know what I mean if you.
Now,
play
what's
the
next system we got here?
All right. So now, East Meadow Bowling Alley, 1995, right? Either I graduated high school already, I was about to graduate high school. I was hearing about this game. Nintendo made it, and it was a fighting game, and they said, "Holy shit, this game is so fucking sick." I'm like, Nintendo made a fighting game? Holy shit! So I had to check it out. And this is what you heard for the title screen.
Available for your home in 1995, only on Nintendo Ultra 64. Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that shit was no joke.
Dude, did you hear? It said Ultra 64 because that's what Nintendo 64 was called in Japan.
Ultra 64, yeah.
Everybody was chomping at the bit for this Nintendo 64 coming out, or Ultra 64, and this was Nintendo's way of advertising its new system with a game. And when you saw this fucking game, the graphics, it looked like, at the time, it looked like action figures come to life. That's what it looked like. It looked like your He-Man figures came to life. It was fucking sick. Cool fucking characters. It was bloody. It had fucking sick ass fucking combos, dude. Dude, there's a fucking character called fucking TJ Combo, right? Because that's how many fucking combo breaker, dude. Just the sound effects of this game, look fucking riled up. King combo, blaster combo, like, dude, it was a fucking great, fun ass fucking game. I'm trying to think who the fuck I used mostly in Killer Instinct. I started using Chief Thunder, which was the fucking Indian dude with the mohawk. But then I'm trying to think, were you able to use Fulgore in the first Killer Instinct? I think you meant, Fulgore is the shit. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Fulgore is that robotic looking fuck with the claws. Yeah. Kind of plays like Ryu a little bit. He's got the fucking flying uppercut.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Fulgore was the shit.
He was in the first one, you sure?
Well, he was definitely in the first one. You definitely fought him. He was the second to last person you fought. Second to last? Oh, no. I think he was the third to last. I think it went Fulgore and then Spinal, which is the dude on the side of the screen right there, the fucking skeleton.
Yeah. And
then you had Idol, which was a two-headed fucking Cyclops, if you will. I don't even know what the fuck you'd call it. I don't know if you were able to play as Fulgore yet. I know you were definitely able to play as Fulgore in Killer Instinct 2. But Killer Instinct, I played more on the Nintendo 64 in a Killer Instinct Gold. I used to play it, and then when that came out, I played as Glacius. For some reason, I always liked the dude that had to do it.
Glacius.
I always liked the dude that had to do with ice for some reason. That's who I always picked.
Yeah.
I love freezing motherfuckers. I love that shit.
Let me ask you. Yeah. If you, well, I mean, how good do you remember this game? Do you remember it well or no?
Very well.
All right. Well, tell me if you remember this.
Yeah, that's fucking.
Look, she used to put the lifesaver in her ass.
Yeah, she's the.
Look, she flashed her ass with it. Look, watch. She put the lifesaver. Pow, pow, pow. See that?
Yeah.
Ba-zing.
Look at those tits, dude.
Ba-zing. Look, she right here. She's like, I'm gonna celebrate by putting this fucking thing in my. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, "Hi, Breaker." She was like this. Look, "Hi, Breaker. I'm just fingering my butt."
Dude, if we would have done that to him back in the day, if we
look, "Hi, Breaker. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna finger fuck my butt." Now let me ask you: you remember that, right?
Now in the storyline, Orchid won the first tournament.
Yeah? Well, who won this tournament right here? Here's some of the gameplay from that very video
Oh, there you
game.
go. Jago versus Saberwolf.
Look at that, guys. This is what it was all about, man. When Nintendo put this system out.
You see how the background looked fucking
it looked good. It looked 3D-ish. It was the first of its time.
They took a picture of a real room.
When Nintendo put this out, you're right. They were driving the system behind it. They were saying, "Hey, we're gonna put this out and." Really give people a little taste of what our system's going to be like here in 95. And going into 95, you got to remember, Nintendo they were running the gamut for years now, okay? They were the system, they were like the only system. They were the top system for years at this point. So coming into 95, they really had to attach something to the Nintendo 64 to push it.
Not only that, they had to shed this pussy.
Yeah, this pussy
when
pussy.
Mortal Kombat came out on Super Nintendo, they had no blood.
And
like, yo, what the fuck?
Finally, Nintendo was like, fuck this. We got to go the route. Everybody's playing these competitive fighting games are being played left and right now. Let's really throw our hat in the ring, and that's exactly what they did with this game. And like you said, this game was.
Look at the blood flying right there.
Yeah, this game was like they had to take it to the next level at this point. They had to show up, what these other systems and Midway was doing, and they really had to show these people like, fuck that, we're still here. You know what I mean?
Now, they didn't go full-blown fatalities in this game. They did have ways of killing people, but it was more like knocking somebody off a building, into lava. There wasn't nobody getting cut in half or any of that shit.
No, there wasn't, but there was blood galore in this, which was new.
Yeah.
Very new for them. Very, very new. You know what I mean?
And the weird thing about this game was the first. I could be wrong, but it was the first fighting game that you know, you obviously you get somebody's energy all the way down and you win the fucking round, and then you'd wait like 3 seconds and it'd be round 2. This game, you'd knock the energy down, and then right there and then and there you'd fucking continue it. So let's say the first round you beat the guy, but you have half health. Now the second round starts, you still have only half health from the last round. And
yeah, continued, right?
He's got to work on his last bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first game doing that. That I remember. Yeah, look at those fucking. I mean, have you ever seen more pointy tits in your life?
Never.
Jesus Christ, those are fake as fuck, dude. Dude, whoever, let me tell you something. The fucking plastic surgeon that did those tits needs to be sued, bro. What the fuck did he do? He put the fucking silicone bags on her fucking cheeks. What the fuck is that? Like, look at the nipple. It's sticking straight up, dude. It's like the nipple's pointing. Yeah, it is Orion's belt right there.
Yo, now we have one left, right?
Yeah, we have one left.
Which one is that? Oh wait, I'm not sure which one it is, but I'll wait until you.
So right after this, Sega came out with a game. This is not the game we're going to be talking about, but Sega came out with a game called Virtua Fighter. So they tried to bring fighting games into the 3D realm, where it's not just side scrolling. You can kind of like sidestep and all this shit. And it was kind of blocky. It was kind of fucking weird, but it was fun to play. It was kind of like very realistic. And then another game came out. Then Tekken came out. You know, everyone knows what Tekken
Love
is,
Tekken.
right?
Love the Tekken series.
There's another game called Battle Arena Toshiden, which was they added swords and weapons and shit. And the same company, Namco, who made Tekken, I don't think they made Battle Arena Toshinden, but they came out with a game called in the arcade it was called Soul Edge, and then in the home version on PlayStation it was called Soul Blade, and it was, you know, swords, and it was a fun game. But the fucking sequel, the arcade game was really good, but this is where, remember we just said where arcades started dipping? To me, this was the beginning of the end, only because the home version of this game on the Sega Dreamcast was leaps and bounds better than the arcade version. That's when you know it was doomed for the arcades.
Yeah.
And it's this fucking game. Hold on, I'll play the music for it. You hear that music and you think of two gay guys like on a mission to fucking suck as much cock as they get their hands on.
I'm on a mission to suck as much cock as I possibly can.
Yeah, dude, this fucking game, man, was so fun. On the Sega Dreamcast, man, it was one of the best launch games of all time, man. Soul Calibur, it brought fighting games to the next level. There was no blood. Nobody gave a fuck about that, though. It was just fucking prowess.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about, I know the combos, or I know the fucking button presses, or I know the fireballs. It wasn't really fireballs and shit like that. But it was, as you can see on there, right there, there was only 4 buttons. I'm trying to think. I don't think one of them was block. I think one of them may have been run. But it was such a fucking amazing fucking game. The guy I used in this game was called Kalik. He had the fucking bow staff like Donatello from fucking Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, if you never played fucking Soul Calibur, obviously, listen, we're doing a fucking hour show here. There's a million fucking fighting games that we didn't cover. So calm the fuck down. I know, LD, you forgot. Wait a minute. What about?
Yeah, no, there's only so much we can fit into it. They know. They know.
Friday night.
They know.
You know what I mean? Suck my dick. There'll be other nights when I talk about the other fucking games. All right? Calm the fuck down. I can hear his right now. But you didn't mention.
How can you hear them if we're recording the show?
And then there's the one. Wait a minute. But what about Super Smash Brothers? No, not tonight. Go fuck yourself. Not tonight. Get a grip.
Oh, right? Yeah, we got some big time fucking Super Smash Brother lovers out there.
Dude, there's going to be a night where I talk about nothing but Street Fighter. There'll be a night when I talk about nothing but Mortal Kombat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we gotta set the fucking genres here.
Exactly. Yeah.
So go fuck yourselves if you don't like it. All right?
You don't fucking like
You know
it.
what I'm talking about. All right? Some people call us inconsistent. They can go fuck themselves.
Oh my god. Oh god.
I'm consistently a cocksucker. How's that?
Oh god.
So
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, this game was popular at the end of the whole. It was coming to an end at this point when this game came out. Yeah, arcades were definitely coming to a close at this point, man, which was sad. You know, like Filthy said, it was a unique time to grow up with these systems all throughout the history of like our childhood. They were always there. It always existed. You know, and then all of a sudden it started to fade away right before our eyes, and we knew it was going to. You could pinpoint when, you knew, all right, this is something that we're not going to be seeing anymore. Like, this is over. You know what I mean? Soon. And it was right around this time. I'll never forget it either, man, because I remember saying, like, wow, man, it's just going to be all about home systems soon. You know? Especially when Nintendo 64 came out. It was so fucking good. You know what I mean? It had so many great games on it. People are like, fuck arcade games now, dude. You know what I mean?
You see what's coming back now?
What?
Pinball games.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
A lot of people playing pinball, and pinball is the shit.
Well, that was some 70s shit right there, you know what I mean?
That's a fucking show we got to do, man. Pinball.
Yeah.
There's some amazing pinball machines out there. One of my dreams, like, I don't even know if I'll have the money for it, but if I ever have a spare, like, 5 or 10 grand, which who the fuck knows if that's ever happen, but I want a fucking mint condition Indiana Jones pinball machine. That's what
cool.
I want.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I want that machine. I want fucking Medieval Madness is a fucking sick pinball machine, and the third one is the Back to the Future machine. Those are the ones I want.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Oh, I'll put it on my fucking wish list and
put it on your wish, fuck.
Those are the ones I want. So go fuck yourselves.
So go fuck, yeah, fuck.
So listen, guys, it was a pleasure talking video games again. I can't wait till next year when we do this shit live. We take your fucking calls, all you fucking nerds out there.
Yeah, we'll eventually be doing this live on the Patreon and on the regular channel sometimes. So
I call you nerds in a positive way there, because I'm a fucking nerd. I'm a fucking geek.
And you know what? Nowadays it's cool to be a nerd because there are so many cool fucking things in, video games. And if you're not into video games and music and all that and you're being called a nerd for it, then fuck it, you're a nerd. I'll embrace the shit because I love this shit. You know what I mean? I live for it. This is my era. You know what I mean? Just like all you guys that are our age and all you guys that are younger than us too, because this is the fucking era of video games. This is the era of systems and consoles and computers and we're lucky enough to come now instead of fucking like 100 years ago or 200 years ago when it was like fucking
they had shooting galleries.
Couldn't even take a fucking shower, and now here we are. We get to get cool video game systems and we got to live through one of the best times in video game birth, the birth of the whole entire system in video gaming in general. If you were born in like the early 80s or late 70s, you got to live through really cool fucking video gaming time. To see what it morphed into today, is crazy. It really is.
How about smug assholes? You ever hear this recently when you get an asshole that says to you, don't you think you're a little too old to play video games? And it's like, no.
Well, see, years ago, like you would say maybe you would think people are a little too old to play video games, but not anymore because it's like people grow up with these. And there's no, would people say, oh, are you a little too old to play rummy? Are you a little too old to play, card games? Are you it's the same thing. It's a hobby. If you like it and it's your hobby, then you know what? It's not a fact of being too old to play games or, you'll get to a certain point where you shouldn't play games anymore because you're older. Fuck that.
Well,
you play as long as you want. As long as you want.
Some people's escape is a book. Some people's escape is a movie.
Yeah.
Some people's escape is bukkake, taking 4 or 5
oh my
loads
God,
of fucking
dude.
face.
Ugh.
And my escape is fucking video games. That's
Well,
my
my
fucking
escape is bukkake, so I mean,
Your
I don't know what to tell
Ken's
you.
escape is bukkake.
But
he's trying,
anyway, my escape is bukkake.
no, if you know you're a real, but let me tell you, you're a real
Buchetta.
bukkake veteran when you take the 5 to 6 loads to your face and then you go to sleep without washing your face and you wake up with like a makeup mask on your fucking face and you have to chisel it off.
Sick fuck.
Dude, you wake up looking like Leatherface. Just cum just crusted on your fucking.
Disgusting, man.
That was the Filthy Mouth Gamers Game Room on the one and only Foul Mouths Patreon and the Foul Mouths Network, and also shout out to the Foul Mouth family. We'll see you next time on Filthy's Game